So about a few days ago, I received a notification from YouTube informing me that I received yet another strike for violating one of their policies. Policies that are typically written so vaguely that its interpretation could be abused by mods with a political axe to grind. You know, the ones with the hair color reminiscent of an Amazonian tree frog, and with more pronouns in their bio than brain cells in their heads. Shout out to Terrence Popp there. In case you need a refresher, in the fall of 2020, I received my first strike for uploading a viral video that was being heavily censored by big tech at the time. A journalist had interviewed two American alphabet agent whistleblowers who were detailing how the US government had used computer hacking programs to alter electronic voting results throughout the third world and for over 10 years. Now, YouTube's reasoning for automatically deleting my upload, and with no chance for an appeal, was that it violated their policy on hate speech. Hate speech? Interesting. Did I so happen to interject excerpts from the Turner Diaries or something? No. What about Mein Kampf? No, not that either. Oh, maybe I suggested that gender was determined by chromosomes. No, not that time. Same thing with the more than half crime statistic. Didn't mention that either. In fact, I simply mirrored the upload without any alteration, and it was a professionally made interview by traditional journalistic standards, so I'm at a loss here. It's almost as if they gave whatever bullshit excuse they could in order to erase a politically inconvenient video from the internet. I mean, the timing of the decision seems a little suspect considering the events that unfolded just a few months later. But here I go with the conspiracy theories again. Now let's jump to the present day and talk about my newest strike. Apparently, my upload in question had glorified the actions of a violent criminal organization. I think this is worth repeating. My upload apparently violated their policy on the glorification of violent criminal organizations. Well, holy shit. This sounds terrible, am I right? I mean, what kind of monster would do such a thing? Was I recruiting for ISIS? Perhaps I was pining for a return of the Fourth Reich in order to finish their final solution. Oh, I bet it's even worse than that. Dare I say that I merely compliment Trump on his fiscal policies? Like the ones that encouraged more job growth in the United States and the further exploitation of slave labor in China? Oh, God forbid. Better lock me up with the rest of those January 6th insurrectionists, still rotting in jail cells without proper charge nor access to their lawyers nor families. You know, the ones that were just standing around the Capitol, stupidly forgetting their firearms for a proper coup, just quizzically watching about a dozen feds pretending to fight about a dozen cops before being, well, invited in. Now make sure to proceed in a single file and behind the velvet rope. Nope. None of the above listed atrocities. The video that they threatened to delete was, and get ready for this, Poopsie fights the fascists. Poopsie fights the fascists. Now, if you're not familiar with the minisode, it was about a communist puppet so horrified by Trump's fascist takeover of the United States that she decided to join Antifa, a heroic organization that is currently disrupting the rallies of evil anti-mandators throughout the world, who audaciously want to return to work and feed their families before Big Pharma even has a chance to altruistically maximize their profit margins. God, such typical white supremacist behavior, you know what I mean? Unfortunately for Poopsie, she confused ISIS with her intended comrades, and you can't really blame her for this. I mean, the only significant difference between them is that most ISIS soldiers aren't undergoing hormone replacement therapy. So, when Poopsie met with the leader of the Islamic State, he had to ask her if she was a woman, because your average Middle Easterner isn't used to dealing with such androgynous and mentally deranged dumpster fires. Poopsie then proceeded to enlighten the ISIS leader on her identification as several types of attack helicopter, which change depending on moon cycles. Because science. Then Poopsie was swiftly enriched with authentic Islamic culture by being thrown off the highest local building. Now, granted, my brand of humor is rather offensive, and especially to those who would happily starve me in a gulag, but good luck in having me feel bad about this. But to claim that my video extols the virtues of Islamic extremism? Considering that I am an unabashed classical Western bigot, I'd say that this is rather disingenuous. Merely mentioning a phenomenon is not an automatic proselytizing of said phenomenon. The video was a comedy, and the point of humor is to mock that which you deem evil, and through mockery one finds the bravery to vanquish it, by whatever means undetermined in the humor to begin with. I mocked Antifa and ISIS in that video because I think they both suck big donkey balls. Their ideologies are retarded and their mission statements are rather utopian. So why would I ever glorify terrorist actions they so commonly employ in order to achieve goals that I personally find contemptuous, digressive, and outright evil? Well, I wouldn't. And YouTube knows this too, because wouldn't you know it, after threatening them with a call from my lawyer, they reversed their decision less than an hour later, and my video had returned to its original public viewing status. But only God knows for how long. Seriously, I'm getting fed up with this shit. If you enjoy my content, I implore you to join me at AltTech. I've created mirrored accounts on both Odyssey and BitChute. Links to both sites will be listed in the description below. Please, I beg you, if you haven't set up an account for either site, do it today. At least with AltTech, you will receive notifications for every one of my uploads. As of right now, with YouTube, you'd be lucky to receive any. Not only this, but an average of a dozen comments left by my viewers are automatically deleted. However, they still show up in my notifications, from which then I copy pasta directly into a pinned comment of my making, so that the public can still read them. Because my opinions don't align with Ashkenazi billionaires, nor would I ever spit upon the graves of my white ancestors, for companies like YouTube, Google, Facebook, and even Twitter, my mere existence is a big problem for them. So don't allow them the ability to stand between you and me, oh glorious Anons, because I quite enjoy your likes and your comments, and I make an effort to reply to everyone that I receive, especially the less than flattering ones. You see, I'm old school, and I do love a good old-fashioned flame war. Unfortunately, as a sign of the times today, your average blue checkmark on Twitter is a complete pussy, and I've been recently permabanned yet again for the 7th time there, and only after a week of hilariously giving back what they so commonly dish out to everyone else, whoever is not woke enough for their own comfort levels. I was gone from Twitter for 2 years before my short-lived return, and the funniest part about all of the shitposting is that the left still can't fucking meme worth a rubber-gloved handjob. You know, gotta protect yourself from the coof and all. AIDS, well, not so much, apparently. I mean, there are those who, I shit you not, are 3 masks and 4 jabs deep into a very selective bout of medical paranoia, while simultaneously and actively seeking out a deadlier bug. Fucking lost souls, man. There is no hope for them. Alright, I sidetracked long enough. Please meet me on Odyssey and BitChute.